Okay, so I just started the recording. All right, I'm Apurva Padiyar, and I have been working in the Salesforce industry for about 7 years now. I actually started my career as a database developer, and that became very monotonous for me. I mean, I became very comfortable in writing queries and building, some database SOQL programming. One of my colleague actually was working in the Salesforce domain, and he just by chance mentioned to me, if I am interested to get into Salesforce. But back then, I really did not know, right? What is this Salesforce and what do people do in this technology? Like I was not very aware. Like to me, Salesforce sounded like something to sell a product or sell a service, right? And then they put me to this technology, and that's where I realized it's not just about sales. It's not only it's not to like sell a product. I mean, definitely by learning Salesforce, you're not going to get into sales and marketing, right? But you are giving that platform for people who are going to be doing sales and marketing, right? So then I found it interesting. So I started learning, my Salesforce courses from there on. And I'm today a business analyst, Salesforce business analyst. But I started as an admin, then I became a hardcore Salesforce developer. Then for about a year, I worked as an architect, but then I wanted to move eventually to customer facing role, which is more to do with getting the requirements, analyzing how you can tap up solutions in Salesforce based on the problems that users face in today's world, right? In Salesforce domain. So I wanted to get into that role. So yeah, I'm a business analyst. I'm working for an organization, but I find connecting with people and learning new things, because I think when you get to meet people and try to teach a course, it's not just you teach, but you also in turn get to learn, right? Because you're going to ask me questions which I may or may not know, and that gives me ideas to answer things better. So I think this is a platform where I recently collaborated or joined Webshala to be able to use whatever expertise I have in the Salesforce domain. And whoever are going to register going forward, I will be your tutor for the next 30 days for administration. And eventually, if you want to seek your role as a developer, you can enroll into admin and development, and we can continue for the next 60 days. So that's about me. Um, I know we're like too many of us in the call, but I at least know you by names because I see them in the chat. So if there's something I want to call out, I will call your names, and we can perhaps have some questions and answers at the end of this session. So, why are you all here today? Right? We are here to learn an overview of what is cloud computing, what are the different technologies in cloud computing, and especially we're going to touch base on for you all to understand if you take up Salesforce in your career path, like, how would it look like when compared to like other technologies? Okay, so that said, I just want to quickly share my screen here and talk firstly about the cloud computing concepts. So I'm sure everybody in this call have heard about this terminology, cloud computing, right? We may not know exactly what it is, but of course you might have heard of what is this cloud computing. If you have today present in, I mean, if you're present today in the webinar today, you should definitely know or heard what is cloud computing. So can just one of you tell me what do you know about cloud? You don't have to define it, but you can just tell me some points that you know about cloud. Anybody wants to take a chance? So let's keep this webinar interactive, right? Even if you're wrong, that's fine. We want to just have a quick interaction so we can make some notes here and understand each other better.
It's basically a platform where we can store the data and it can be accessible from everywhere.
Very nice. So it's for storing data. And then you also said accessible from everywhere. Very good. So to add more about what you said, right? Um, like let's take a classic example of Gmail, right? So I'm sure everybody in this call uses Gmail on day-to-day basis, or you want to use it for some purpose, right? Like to send emails to your cousins, friends, relatives, or whatever. So for you all to use Gmail, I'm sure you don't have a server in your houses, right? To use Gmail, right? We don't have servers in our houses to use like Outlook or Gmail or anything such. We have a basic facility, internet, right, to use our gmail.com. So one of the most critical points of this cloud computing is you need internet in order to access the technology, right? So it is an internet based model. So without internet, you would not be able to use cloud computing. The second point is here, one of you mentioned accessible from everywhere, right? Of course, it is accessible from everywhere, provided you have internet, right? So that's the completion of that sentence. Like, of course, you can access it from anywhere, but you need to have internet to access it. Even the data, right? If you want to access the data also, you need to have internet in order to be able to access that data. Okay. The second point is basically when you're using, again, I'm going back to the Gmail example, so it makes it easy for you all. So there are some features on Gmail, right? What is it? You can send an email using the Gmail. Then you can create Google Forms, right? And you can send the forms to your people. Like suppose you want to take a like I want to take a quick poll of how I did my webinar today, and I want to understand from you all on the feedback. So I can use Gmail for that, right? I can create a form and say, did you all understand the concepts? Yes or no? And put all these questions and share it to you, and you all can give your answers, and I'll get back the email. So what are these things we're talking about? These are features. Right now, if you want something extra in a Gmail, like what are those? Like I may have a certain capacity of data that I can maintain, but it now exceeds the storage. So what I can do, I can request the Gmail organization or Google for increasing my storage, because in the free model of Gmail they would have given me this is all your storage capacity is. Now if I want to go extra, I need to purchase it, right? I need to maybe rent it or something like that. So basically, every cloud computing is going to give you certain set of features for sure. But now if you're asking them that I have exhausted these features and now I want something much more, then you need to demand for that feature, right? So it's like a demand based service. What is it? Demand based service. And what does that mean? You're demanding for a service that that is going to get exhausted, or maybe that is already present and now you want to increase the features of that particular application. Then you can ask the particular domain to give you that feature. Okay. And the last and the most important thing is I cannot go to Google and say I want to buy this Gmail, or I cannot go to Microsoft, what do you call, Amazon company and say I want to buy this AWS server, right? So because you can never buy a cloud, okay? You can only rent a cloud. So it's a rental model, in other words. Okay. Now, these are the three important, what can I say, features of cloud computing. And you can simply relate it to your real time world so you don't forget. right? So my funda in life is this much. Whenever I'm learning any technology or something too technical, I try to relate it to a real world example. So try to apply the same thing, right? To a real time example, like you want to buy a house or you want to rent out a house, right? So when you want to rent out a house, what do? You think of, well, I am three members in the family, so I need like a 3 bhk or like a 2 bhk, right? Definitely you're not going to end up spending a lot by buying 10 bhk and pay extra rent, right? So you're going to plan it out that way. So even the same concepts apply here, right? In the cloud computing, you want to rent something, you have to figure out what are the features you want, and based on the features, the company will provide you a license, right? For those of you who are working in an organization, you may have you may have your Gmail, you may have your email appended to some .com, right? Like if you're working in TCS, then you may have apurva@tcs.com. So how is that @tcs.com coming? Because your company has rented a license for you to use a particular cloud computing like Outlook or Gmail or Yahoo for certain period of time till you are a part of that organization. Understanding? So that's what is in simple terms to understand cloud computing. So these are the three main factors other than what you all listed, right? Of course, it's used for storing data, and you can definitely use this database from anywhere and everywhere you want. But in order to do this, what do you need? You need to subscribe on a rental subscription. You need to demand for your service, what service you're looking for, and then you need to definitely have internet in order to log into your cloud platform. So I just want to pause here and ask if you have any questions on what is cloud computing. We good?
Is there any incidents where data stored on the cloud get crashed or clashed? Does this happen with the cloud as well, similar to server?
See, the data can crash, but you cannot say the data is crashing. You can say that the cloud is itself crashing because of outages. What kind of outages? Like there is too much of data in your database and there's like performance issues. Something is taking a lot of time to load, right? And that is one of the situations that can occur, but it is never the case like, okay, now you're trying to log in and then it's not letting you log in because there's a crash, unless and until the technology itself is running an outage, right? Meaning, sometimes you might have heard in the news or you might have experienced that WhatsApp is not working, right? It has happened. Like, you're trying to go to WhatsApp and
Yes.
it was not working. So that is because it's not under your control, right? Like it's not because your internet is low or your internet is exhausted. It's not because of you. It's because of the organization itself, the Meta or whatever, right? The Facebook, whoever owns that WhatsApp. It's because of their own server that it has crashed, right? So that can anytime occur in any cloud computing, but the other types of crashes that you may be referring to, I'm not sure, is you've logged in now and it's not the problem of the company, right? But it's the problem of your data, or it's the problem of something not built properly. That can happen and there are ways to fix that, right? And you would be learning, like as part of this course, if there is anything like over storage, performance issues, how will you handle those exceptions, right? You can be learning that from here in this course.
Okay. And what about data security? Is data secure there? Because,
Mm-hmm.
like, from what I understood, I or read through some articles, is banking industry is still not relying on cloud computing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Mm-hmm.
right?
See, for you to access any data, the first thing is you need to log in, right? Because that's the first step to get into any cloud computing technology. You need to have your credentials or you need to be linked with something called as SSO. SSO stands for single sign on, right? Which means you may be given your laptop a particular password, and now there is a logic written for your cloud to understand that, well, if you've logged into the system and now you're getting into the cloud, all you need is the system password. So it automatically logs you in without you having to enter the password, right? That's what is SSO. So there are two ways to log in into cloud. Like I told, one is SSO, one is the credential method where you log in with username and password. Now, once you log into the cloud, right? Now, if somebody is trying to hack, like that's the unsecurity that we're talking about, right? Like somebody is trying to hack or access our data, then they need some type of authentication. Okay. And Salesforce has recently launched that type of authentication. Like, I know you're asking about cloud, but I'm talking specifically about Salesforce. They have something called as multi-factor authentication. So they need multiple factors or codes or security codes if they are logging from different systems to crack that code and then only be able to log in. Okay, so that's the type of security I guess other cloud computings are also coming up with, but I can say for sure that Salesforce has this multi-factor authentication, okay, which is
Okay.
called MFA. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm. And you'll be seeing that in this course. The first step we do is trying to log to Salesforce, and you'll be able to do that successfully the first time. Now, if I tell you, hey, log in to Salesforce from another laptop, right? Because now another laptop has another unique, what do you call that, IP range, right? Or IP address, because every system has got its unique IP address. So if you're going to log in every time from a different laptop, then you need to authenticate yourself with a security code that you receive on your mailbox or phone number.
Okay.
Okay. All right, good questions. So shall we move on to the next part of cloud computing? Okay. So there are different, I mean, in theory, they call it layers of cloud. Okay. But to me, instead of we calling it layers of cloud, I want to call this as a decision for you all to understand what you want to do in your life, right? With regards to cloud computing. So in the layers of cloud, we have SAS, PaaS, and IaaS. Okay. Now, if you understand these three concepts, what is SAS, PaaS, and IaaS, you guys will be able to know what you really want to get into, right? In the cloud computing, do you actually aspire to get into a SaaS model, or do you want to get into the PaaS, right? Or the IaaS? So let's understand these concepts, what these are. So anybody before that wants to abbreviate what this stands for? Anybody heard of these terms before?
I think it's a software as a service, platform as a service, the infrastructure as a service.
Wonderful. Yeah, that is correct. So let's fill that first. Platform as a service. Then we've got infrastructure as a service. All right. So so can you brief me up, like whoever told the expansion of these, right? Can you tell me what do you also know about it? What is this software as a service?
So basically, companies provide their software
Hmm.
where like we can exercise the features they have provided in their softwares to run the business.
Okay.
Platform as a service is something where we can build our own customized apps or maybe own customized requirement can be implemented. And infrastructure as a service, I am not sure.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, your answer is right. So let's try to understand with the rest of the audience what is this SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Okay. So like one of the folks mentioned here that like in an organization, if somebody is going to end up using, I think I'll have to mute someone here. It's a bit. Okay. So if in an organization, if they want to use cloud computing, they first have to decide what is it that they're looking for. Is it they're looking for a software, they're looking for a platform to build something, or they're looking for an infrastructure, right? So if they know these things, then they can make a decision as an organization, right? What service do they want from cloud computing? Because as I told you in the definition of cloud computing, it provides services, right? Every cloud computing provides multiple services, and we can demand for that service, right? So what service are we demanding for here? We can either demand for a software, we can demand for a platform, or we can demand for an infrastructure. Now, going back to that example of Gmail, so Gmail is actually a software of Google, right? And in that software, they give us services, right? Like what? Like sending an email, creating application forms, the the recycle the bin that is there in the Gmail. So you are able to select the emails and click on the recycle bin icon and able to delete those emails. So these are the things that you did not build, right? These are the things that are readily available in a software called Gmail, and Google is offering you that software, right? But now, if I tell you, hey, hey Gmail, find out all the spam, data and put it in a folder for me, and on a monthly basis, please delete the spam emails, right? Can I do that in Gmail? Can I write a logic to delete all the to delete all the emails on a monthly basis because I don't want to have spam emails on my Gmail? Do we have that capability on Gmail?
No.
So we don't have that capability. So it is clearly a software as a service tool because it's just giving you a software and telling, look, this is all I have. If you want, you use this, right? But if I want something beyond that software and I want to build my own platform, my own features, then that particular cloud computing technology has to give you a platform. Okay, they have to give you a platform where you can write your own customized logic, your own customized code, macros, or whatever you call it, to come up with such a capability. So that is what is called a platform as a service. Okay, like one of you told me when I asked, what is this SAS, what is this Pass? I mean, they clearly told that, right? There are some features, there is a software that the company will give, and you can use it, right? Exactly. You can use it as long as the features are available in that software. Now, if you want something extra, which is not there in the software, what do? Right? You need something more to build that logic. So I think that's where you said, hey, then if you want something more, you need to customize your code, right? You need to customize something. And what do you need then? You need a platform. Okay. Now, why am I stressing so much on SaaS and PaaS only? What about this infrastructure as a service, right? So I'm going to park this for some time here because as part of this course, we will not be covering infrastructure as a service. Why? Because Salesforce is a cloud computing technology that gives you a software, okay, and it gives you a platform. Okay. Now, what is that software that Salesforce is providing? Does anybody know? What software is Salesforce giving to users, which we all can use as out of box?
It is based on the cloud. Because of it, it is accessible to everyone.
So the software that Salesforce is giving us is called as the CRM.
Yes.
Heard of this term?
Yes, customer relationship management.
Very good. So let's write that down. Okay. So what is the software Salesforce is giving us? It's giving us a software called CRM, and this is our SaaS. Why is it SaaS? Because it's giving us a software called CRM, and we can use that as a service to meet the needs of our customers. But Salesforce is telling I have XYZ features only in the CRM. Now, if you want ABC features to be built, then I don't have that. But I will give you a platform, right? What is Salesforce saying? I'm going to give you the platform. And what is that platform called? Does anybody know? It's called force.com. Heard of this? Okay. So what did we see? I hope you are all able to see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So what is it that we understood now? There is a huge box here, and that box is nothing but salesforce.com. Or you might have heard SFDC. So SFDC stands for salesforce.com. Okay. So Salesforce.com is one of the cloud computing technologies. Remember, there are many other cloud computing technologies in the market. Can you name a few? If you all know, what are the other cloud computing technologies?
Azure and GCP.
GCP. What else?
AWS.
Very good. Then
Drive.
IBM Cloud, right? Google, then Microsoft Cloud, right? Then Sugar CRM, I mean Sugar, then Zoho, right? You might have heard of these terms, isn't it? So these
Yes.
are the various cloud computing technologies. Now, why Salesforce, right? Like, I mean, say, like out of these many technologies, why Salesforce, right? Now, each of these cloud computing will help you understand whether it's a SaaS or a PaaS, right? Now, who works on a SaaS platform, right? So SaaS platform, who works on a SaaS model, right? SaaS model is worked by those people who really like to use the system as is, understand the features, use to build a particular logic, right? Like now, if I tell you, I'm an organization who runs, a car business, right? And I want to maintain all my car information and customer information. So you guys, as CRM administrators, will know that. All right, so the CRM is already giving us an opportunity to build a table, so I can maintain all the customer information in this software and all the car information in this software. So I don't have to build a code. I don't have to build a logic to maintain the customer data, right? So you guys, as part of this course, will be able to differentiate a developer versus an administrator, and any prerequisite, okay, to become the next step in Salesforce is you have to complete administrator. So doing the admin course will help you cover this part. Okay, let me show you which part. This, right? So the orange box that I'm covering now, it will help you understand, what are the features of the CRM model. Okay. Once you do the admin course, now you want to go further, right? Next step and learn what are the features that I can, which the SaaS platform does not provide and the platform provides, right? So for that, you need to know the force.com features so you can write your code. And who does that? A developer. So I'm just going to write the things here. So a SaaS, if you want to get into the SaaS, then you will be Salesforce admin. Okay. And if you want to do the PaaS, then you will have SFDC developer. So these are the two options to get started in the Salesforce career. Now, what about other technologies? I mean, other technologies also offer you things like what? I don't know about GCP, but AWS gives you a SaaS. It gives you infrastructure as a service. In fact, AWS are called as the largest infrastructure providers. So I'll tell you what infrastructure means. Okay. And then Google offers you SaaS and PaaS, right? And Sugar CRM, they also offer you SaaS and PaaS. Zoho offers SaaS and PaaS. So you will be able to understand that these particular technologies give both SaaS model and they give the PaaS model. So if I want to just learn the software and I don't want to do coding, because some people feel like, okay, I don't want to do any coding, but I want to learn just the software and maybe look at other career options in the future as I grow as an admin, right? Because you start your career as an admin and then you feel like, okay, I've done admin for 2 years, now what, right? So you do have other potential growths if you're going to do just admin course. Okay. But nevertheless, some people are like, no, I like to challenge myself. I want to know more and I want to get into the technical aspects, right? Like a developer, right? Then you have to complete your admin and then do development here. And in the developer, you will be learning all the concepts of force.com, the various languages that is used within Salesforce technology to write your codes. The same concept applies to other cloud computing technologies. Okay. But Salesforce, I'm not promoting Salesforce, but Salesforce is number one cloud computing platform. Okay. Compared to Salesforce and other technologies I've written here, right? Sugar, Zoho. Yeah, it is used in organizations. I'm not saying that, but it's for a medium scale organization. So very, very huge organizations require a huge database, okay, like which will maintain billions of data, right? And Salesforce has that capability where you can maintain like really vast amount of data. Okay. So depending upon the type of the organization, they make decisions on which cloud to use, right? And these days, if you like look for every alternate companies, they're using Salesforce, okay, to maintain their databases. So there is a lot of opportunities for getting, jobs. Like you guys after this class can go back to Naukri or any job portals and just search, right? Don't even apply, right? Just search how much job openings are there for Salesforce admin, Salesforce developer. You will get lot of results. Okay. That is no need to worry. But I need to be honest with you. And the truth is, if you guys learn admin and now you are seeking for a job, right? Then if there are 100 people applying for admin job, only 5 people may get that admin job. So you need to be extraordinary, right? Because companies would prefer having a developer than an administrator. Okay, they will think or question themselves, well, the developer has the skills of both admin and developer. So why should I just hire an admin who does not know development? They may have that mindset. Okay. But it is not a big problem if you just learn admin and then feel like, oh, now what do I do? Because learning admin opens up doors for other opportunities, right? And what are those opportunities if you don't want to do coding, right? Is you can be a administrator in the first level, then you can become or look options in QA, right? Where you can do Salesforce testing, and then you have options to become business analyst. Okay, you have option to be a business analyst. So these are the three options you have. But with developer, you may have a more inclination towards technical aspects and you can grow as developer, then tech lead, then architect, you know. Or you may feel like, okay, I became so and so, like I did development, I did tech lead, I architect, but now I feel like going back to this. You still have that option. So you have more career options as developer. Nevertheless, you can still find your way in Salesforce with just being an admin also. So it's left to you what you are more interested to learn, right? So with that note, I just want to pause here and see if you have any questions.
When someone says he's a cloud consultant or a sales cloud consultant in Salesforce, what exactly his job responsibility is?
So basically, to do justice for that title, Sales Cloud Consultant, right? They need to know almost every feature of sales uh, sales flow within the CRM, right? So in other words, Salesforce.com offers different clouds, right? Service cloud, sales cloud, marketing cloud, IoT cloud, healthcare, financial cloud. So they have like multiple SaaS products. Okay. Salesforce.com is just not one CRM, right? It's more than a CRM and they provide various capabilities, be it any domain. Okay. Now, if you're hearing someone that they are a sales cloud consultant, then they need to know that what are the features in Salesforce on the CRM that will help a sales guy complete their job, right? And what is the sales guy job? The job is from the time the product got launched into the market till the time the delivery is made to the customer. What are all the features in Salesforce that will help build the structure for them? Right, so he needs to know that so he can sell these features right to the team and team can build basically those products. So it's more like a customer facing role, you know, like the consulting, right? Like the customer is consulting someone saying, hey, is this CRM Salesforce good? What are the features that the CRM has? And then the consultant should be able to explain very crisply, right, that these are the features and you can use it to solve your business problem, right? So that's what's a sales cloud consultant. Did that help answer?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, what other questions? What's the impact on, we have a question here. What's the impact and scope of Salesforce in both product and service-based company? Okay, very good question. See, when you're working in a service-based company, let's take an example. Infosys is a service-based company, right? So they will have a client, and their client could be something like Adidas, let's take, right? So Infosys has a client called Adidas. Now, Adidas wants to maintain their database in Salesforce. So they will work with Infosys on what products they have, what features they want, and Infosys will deliver, right, the scope of work for them. But in a product-based company like Adidas itself, they can make a decision, okay, like as a product company, do they want a vendor team like Infosys? Or do they want their own internal team, right? Like what they call the in-house team to maintain their product information within Salesforce. Okay. So the impact on both say service-based and product-based company is high here, right? When I say high, it means irrespective of whether it's a product or service-based company, they need Salesforce, they need Salesforce for something, then they have to decide how their model should be. Do they need a strong in-house team or they want to deliver all this for, um, deliver all this to be completed by a vendor team, right? So for example, I'm working in a product-based company, okay, currently, and we have our own products. Okay. But it's not like we have tied up with a third party and saying, okay, do everything and we'll just give you the requirement. No, there needs to be an in-house team who will do the quality best practice maintenance, right? They need to set up a cadence because if the vendor team is just giving us a piece of code which is not of good quality, who is the person in the product based company who's going to evaluate and judge that this is a good piece of code, right? So there is no need to worry of the scope and the impact of Salesforce because both the organizations need Salesforce. Okay, what other questions?
And who are the major competitors of Salesforce?
These ones right here, right?
Okay.
These ones right here are the major competitors of Salesforce, like especially with Sugar CRM, right? So they have almost the same features as Salesforce does, but the only difference between the Sugar and Salesforce is the package, the pricing, right? So Salesforce.com is extremely expensive, but at the same time, they fulfill the needs of the customer. They give everything maybe the other cloud computing may not have, right? They give it. So that's kind of like a good news. But what Salesforce is not offering is infrastructure. Okay, so Salesforce company is not giving a server to the company and saying, okay, look, work on this, right? Like in order to connect to your interbase, have this infrastructure or server in your rooms or in your organizations. No, they're not doing that. It's a centralized infrastructure. So there is a server very, very far located from all of us in the cloud somewhere, right? Which we are using today in the Salesforce by authenticating ourselves, right? Like we're just logging in with username passwords. We're literally not having that server with us. Right. But if you're going to go with AWS technology, right, they give you an infrastructure and they say, I mean, basically they're giving you a server or a hardware, right? And saying, okay, use this hardware in your locality and you can touch base on the cloud. Now, what you guys do as part of infrastructure as a service is somebody asked that question, right? What if it is crashing? Like what if the system is crashing? Can that ever happen? That happens very, very often with infrastructure as a service based models, right? Because the server is not always 24 hours in a day accurate. It may not work because of the dust on it, or it may not work because it's not highly well maintained because of the temperature and other issues or something like that, right? So we as infrastructure as infrastructure as a service developers or administrators should be able to decode or debug, like why aren't we now able to log into the system? What's the crash looking like, right? What are the different layers of networking? Because there'll be different layers of networking, like the physical layers, or it could be like the security layer. Which part of the layer in the infrastructure is breaking? So that is what you guys will be doing if you get into infrastructure as service model. Okay, which Salesforce is not offering. It is only offering SAS and Pass. Is that making sense? All right. So I think with that note, I was able to cover what is cloud computing, what are the layers of the cloud, what you can decide, right? Like based on what you like, because that's very important. Like you like SAS or you like PaaS or you like both, right? You have these options. And if you want to get into the SAS domain, then you have to just learn admin, right? No need to worry about coding. But if you want to get into as a developer, then you have to touch base on the concepts of force.com. So this is like an outer diagram of what is Salesforce. The bigger box is salesforce.com, and it is built on force.com, right? So on which platform is salesforce.com built? It's built on force.com, right? And force.com is based on a Java based technology. And yeah, you have CRM, which is customer relationship management, as somebody said. And what is that customer relationship management? It gives like a 360-degree view of the business model, right? So any business you name it, what are the main ingredients of that business? They need customers, they need products, they need services. So where is all that information going? It's going into the CRM. And you guys will be building features or capabilities using the SaaS for that business. Understood? Is that giving you all some clarity on what you're going to do with the Salesforce if you will all learn this technology?
Yeah, totally how many days cover?
Sorry, what's that? Sorry, what was your question? Could you please repeat?
Yeah, totally how many days you'll be covering in this?
Okay, so for administration, it is 30 days, which means 30 hours every day, 1 hour, or Monday to Friday, it's going to be like 1 hour each, right? So that covers 30 hours. And if you want to extend with admin plus development, then it's going to be 60 hours. 2 months basically for both the things. And for only admin, then 1 month. But if you feel like, well, I want to be admin and I feel like I have an opportunity to be a BA, then it's going to be 45 hours because we have another course like admin plus business analyst. So that's like 45 hours.
So combined admin plus BA is 45 hours or separate 45 hours for BA?
No. Admin plus business analyst together makes it 45 hours.
Okay.
Ma'am, price of all the three courses?
I will let my team touch base on that because I am not sure what is the price here. They can definitely guide you on the prices and discounts, if any.
Will I be able to give a certification exam of platform app builder based on admin study?
Absolutely, yes. So
Okay.
we'll be teaching you all the things that will be, important for the crack the interview to write a good to get the certification we'll be giving. And as much as possible, we'll try to reach out to people who have already written this and give you the dumps if possible, which is the last step, right?
Okay.
Mhm.
And what is the relevance of certification into this industry? I mean, is it very important to have a certification of Salesforce?
Well, it's just like a cherry on the cake, right? If you have a good resume, they're very happy, and you do the interview well, they're extremely happy. But if you have a certification, it's like an add-on. They are confident that okay, you cracked an exam and you had a bit of an experience. So it's not bad idea to write a certification and to go to the interview. But if you are feeling like okay because Salesforce is expensive, okay, they're a rich organization and they mainly make money with certifications. Okay, so if you could see that it's like $200 and all of that, right? And I would suggest like try it and give it a shot. I'm sure you'll crack it after this course. But if you want to recover that, you can do it once you join the organization, because usually companies funds for your certification, right? I'm just saying it out of my experience. Like I never had a certification when I got a job in this technology. I started taking it all when I got the job, and the companies were able to fund it for me. Okay, so it's left to you how you want to take it. I was just sharing my experience.
Okay, thanks.
All right, guys. We have 2 more minutes to wrap up. Anything else you want to check with me?
Ma'am, what about placement assistance?
Yes, as part of the placement assistance, when you complete your course with us, we're going to have like 3 or 4 sessions of mock interviews. And like I said, Monday to Friday will be your regular classes, but Saturdays and Sundays are going to be like an interview drive wherein we are going to be a panel of trainers and we will be taking your mock interviews. And from what we've got as testimonies from our previous students, whatever questions we've been asking in that sessions, right? Those are kind of the same type of questions they're asking in the interviews. So as you attend these mocks, you'll get more confidence to be able to crack those sessions. Now, how are you even going to get into the interview? We have our placement team in Webshala who focuses on getting the jobs, right? And what do they do? We have tied up with organizations which are service based and product based, and we have a placement officer who will keep on sending you reminders or emails on a weekly basis for you all to apply jobs, right? Once you apply the jobs, the companies will call you and you can reach out to your personal trainers. Like in this case, I'll be your trainer, so you can reach out to me any point in time and ask me like the relevant questions, like how you want to be better prepared, right? So we can have that one-on-ones.
Currently, I am working in non-IT sector.
Sure, that shouldn't cause a problem as long as you are. See, there are only two categories of people who can easily get jobs. One is either you have to be a complete fresher, right? The other set is you are working, but it could be from technical or non-technical background, but you should have some experience, right? Now, there may be folks in this call who may not have experience. That's where we have to little more put effort, right? Because companies prefer somebody who has experience. It may not be in the same technology or same, IT background. It could be completely non-technical also. We know how to crack you for that. Okay, crack your interviews for that. But if there are anybody in this call who are not having any experience and have completed their graduation and are having a too much gap, please reach out to us personally. We will need to have a separate discussion for that. Okay. I hope that answered your question.
Yes. And currently, there are no jobs, right? Due to recession, calls are not coming.
No, India is safe. Okay, now if you want to if you're ambitious to go outside of India and get a job, now that's where I say is a risk, right? Like they have too much recession there. Okay, so we are all lucky that we are here in India, and there is no problem with recession as yet in India. So let's hope there won't be any more for the rest of the year as well.
What would
I
be
have
the
4 years
package
gap.
if we got selected in the
I
interview?
want to be realistic, so it depends on your current role, right? So if you are in a non-IT background and now you are trying to get a first job, then if your current salary, I'm just saying, is 2 lakhs per annum, then you can ask 10 lakhs if you're going to aim for admin or business analyst. But now you are in non-IT, you're getting 3 lakhs or something, and now you want to jump for developer, straight away go for 10 plus, uh, right, demand. And for freshers, it always starts equal to or less than 5 lakhs. Please do not expect more than that for complete freshers who have completed their graduation, because it's your training period, sort of, right? And after 1 year, if you switch, you can also double your package. And for those who are completely non-IT, non-technical, not even freshers, in between, now you have a gap, 4 years ka gap and all that, we need to have separate discussion, because we need to manipulate few things in your resume, right? It needs to be as if, we cannot, we need to pretend like something happened in these 4 years, even though nothing happened, right? So we need to have that separate call and discussion. Okay, so kindly reach out on the group or separately on the chat with me. You can find me on the group, right? So spot me and email, send a message, and we can figure out how to fill that gap. Okay.
And like while completing this course, so you guys will be providing assistance in projects as well, like
Yeah,
you
we'll be
offering
taking a
projects.
project. Yes, we'll
Okay.
be taking a project. Yes.
Will you guys can also help in like giving us a trails which like some trails on the trailhead which can
Yes.
help us to boost or maybe to get more fluent with the Salesforce?
Sure. Yes.
In that 30 classes only, we have to work on that project, or
Yeah,
do we
yeah,
have
yeah.
any other
30 classes. We'll be working on that project. And also after the 30 classes, we'll have, I told, right, the interview sessions wherein we'll prepare a resume. Okay. In that resume, we'll be putting a project which you may not have worked, because you want to show something good on the resume, right? So we will discuss on that, like how that project looks, what you're going to write and all that. Okay. So one project you're going to get hands-on as part of this course. The other project you might not get hands-on, but you'll get an overview of the project. So you could put 2 projects in your resume. Okay.
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 Do they consider this a non-IT experience
What do you mean? This? What is this?
or salary? I'm asking.
Oh, salary. No, no, no. No. All right. So I'm going to stop the recording. Anyway, we are up on time also.